Hello folks! Welcome to another video where everything is going explicitly well. Nothing is going wrong, and Kate and I are definitely not recording this on a VO mic because she broke one of my other mics.
I didn't break it. It's your own fault.
We shall land on Kate's fault!
No, he knows the
How
truth.
you doing, my friends? Thank you so much for tuning into the Jovenshire channel where audio problems are key, even though audio is the most important thing when making a video. So, you know, one of these days I'll listen to my own rules. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button because I promise other videos and future videos will have better audio. So, Kate and I saw a movie the other day, and it was quite fun. We saw a quaint little overseas French film with subtitles called Spider-Man Far From Home. We saw Spider-Man Far From Home, and welcome to our podcast as we talk into this microphone, saying the things that we liked about it and didn't like about it. It came out a little while ago, there will be spoilers. What do you...
Let's do some of that ASMR
No, we aren't
stuff.
doing ASMR. Kate, you too saw Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay, yep.
What did you like about it?
Spoiler
Warning. We're going to talk about the beginning, middle, and end game of it all.
Spoiler alert. It was definitely not better than Endgame, even
That's
though
right.
the radio says so.
Yeah.
The radio kept saying, like, oh, best superhero movie of the summer, including Endgame. And I was like, really?
It's like, I think you're stretching.
Really?
Don't lie to people. It was a good movie.
It was good, but
it's not better than Endgame. Endgame had 11 years of build-up.
Yeah, baby.
Though this movie did have the greatest cameo in Marvel history, so that's pretty good. At the end, in the post-credits scene. Alright, spoilers, we're jumping right into it. Okay, so Spider-Man swinging around. Oh, because you don't know. Alright, no, you do know. J. Jonah Jameson is played by J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling? Nope.
No.
Simmons. Nope. That one actor. Paco will put him up. And he played him in the first Spider-Man movies, and now... He's back to play. Yeah, it was perfect. He's perfect for it.
Very cute.
But we'll get back to the post-credit scenes. What did you like about this movie? Because you said it is good, but it's just not Endgame.
Yeah, I always love Spider-Man because Spider-Man's always so funny. And this is the same. He's very cute, very likable, very funny. He's no Andrew Garfield, but...
We're always going to go back to this argument. She thinks Andrew Garfield's better.
He is better, but you know what? He's a cute boy. Plus, I'm impressed by his American accent.
There's so many actors that have that, but how many American actors, and then they have to do a British accent, and it's always the first thing. It's like, ooh, Tom Cruise should not try British accent, and it's just like,
Has he ever? I'd really love to hear.
I hope not.
Why can't you say it, Shannon? Why can't you say you like my hat? Why can't you say you like my suit?
But he's also great at everything, except for religion.
This movie had Aunt May. Wow.
Still hot.
Yeah,
Still
and her
hot.
outfit at the very end with her like bright red skirt and black tank top was so cute.
Okay.
Spider-Man colors, you know?
Oh yeah, makes sense. So I think it is important to note that Spider-Man Far From Home is definitely it's a kid's superhero movie, not a kid like a high school kid super movie. Like if you were to see like Shark Boy and Lava Girl, was that the name of that movie? Like there's a certain element that you'd kind of expect from a kid's movie. That's probably a bad analogy. It's not like watching Endgame or
Spy
Thor.
Kids.
It's Spy Kids. That one's better because. Like in Thor, you're following an adult who's having adult situations, who's fighting to save his world and all that stuff. Whereas this is a high school kid.
I want to be a teenager.
Yeah, so it's dealing with problems that a teenager would be able to relate to,
Raging
not necessarily
hormones.
an adult. So as I'm in there, I'm watching it and I'm just having fun. I'm more relating to Aunt May and trying to figure out why she's just letting him go on these crazy superhero things and not being freaked out about it.
Yeah, she's not even afraid. She's just like, you'll be fine. I'm
Here's
like,
your
really?
suit going through international security. But so if you can get past the fact that it just feels like a high school kids superhero movie. It is still fun. It plays to the elements of Spider-Man that make Spider-Man great. It definitely reminded me of watching the 90s cartoon show, especially with Mysterio, with Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job.
He did, and you know what? At the very beginning, before we knew he was bad, he is so likable.
That's just Jake Gyllenhaal,
And he's so
though.
handsome.
So handsome, so likable.
So handsome.
I've got a crush, but who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
And good job, Marvel, for trying to throw people for a loop. We all know, well, we
didn't
nerds
know.
all know that Mysterio is supposed to be a bad guy, and this is what he does. He tricks people and lies to people. But the fact that they were kind of able to take this ridiculously stupid character who's a special effects artist and actually give him a viable situation outside of a really weird exposition speech to his employees that went a little too long. It's like, okay, I get it. This is what you're doing. Great.
But it looked really cool, and that would have been so confusing if that had happened.
Yeah.
I guess what the only problem I had with this movie that I was telling you about was they have to program these drones and the visual effects to create whatever they're in. So I was taken out of it because when Spider-Man shows up in that little bridge thing at the end, and he like does a visual effects thing for him, I was like, he thought Spider-Man was dead, right? And so now he's back. He wouldn't have had that hallway scene programmed out. So it just was annoying to me.
Maybe it was like an AI, like it was just thinking quickly on its own, and he already tapped. So he did superhero things. It's a comic book. He tapped his wrist pad, and then science happened.
Well,
my big issue with the movie was, I get the situation of why Mysterio was the bad guy. Okay, so he's a disgruntled employee. Sure, let's go down that route again. But and I get that there's other people helping him out. That's cool. He's even got a writer. That's funny. But the fact that these other disgruntled employees went from, yeah, we need a new superhero that we can be, all the way to, hey, we got to kill these kids, and we're okay with it. Yeah. They went from 0 to wanting to kill kids really quickly and didn't have any question to it. Now, you might argue that there was the one guy that's like, I don't know if we should do this, and then he pointed the two turret, like the drones at his forehead. But at least at that point in time,
it was everyone's, right?
Was it
I thought
everyone's?
he had pointing the drones at everyone's, or at least a few people.
It seemed like if I was maybe one of the other employees, I would have been like, you know what? No, I'm not okay with killing a bunch of people in London.
But he's crazy, so they were afraid.
Well, and I feel like they could have just conveyed that a little bit more. But even still, if they were afraid, at the end, they still wound up, again, going back to the post-credit scene, they still outed Spider-Man, so he downloaded the file and still had to send that out. So he still was doing it on his own volition.
Yeah.
Unless the theory is that Mysterio isn't dead and that was just
what if the guy at the laptop
It's my illusion.
was Mysterio?
Oh, anyone could be Mysterio at that point in
Exactly,
time.
because he was the programmer, so what if that was him and Jake Gyllenhaal was just the face?
It just, J.K. Simmons, that's who I was thinking of. That was the guy.
Richard Simmons?
Nope. So that was the thing that really bugged me. Is like the rest of these other, like, they weren't even that disgruntled. It's not like it was you had Vulture in the first Homecoming movie where they lost their jobs and their livelihood because Stark Industries kind of took over to clean up their own mess kind of thing. This was just like, why is he a superhero and not paying attention to us kind of thing? I don't know. It didn't make sense.
No, it's because he took his tech, wasn't it?
Well, he named his tech Barf.
Yeah, well, he just was...
He was still an employee getting paid.
Whatever. He took his life's work and kind of was like, well, this is a whatever simulation.
Even outside of that, though, I still liked it. And I cried.
He did.
I cried in a movie. Normally I look at Kate and she's the one crying. This time it was me.
Sucker.
And for those of you who've seen the movie, which I hope you've seen the movie because we've been spoiling so much so far, but when he's making his suit on the jet and he's okay, you get the suit, I'll get the music, and he starts playing AC/DC and he does the thing and Jon Favreau kind of looks at him like, this kid's gonna be okay. I was just like, that, Jesus, it's the feels.
But he did do a very good job. He looked like Tony Stark.
Yeah, he had like the mannerisms.
He had like
down.
the arm crossing and
it just made me happy.
What if I do 20% of this?
That's good. It was a good impression.
Thank you.
Overall, I had a good time. It definitely felt weird, like, because it jumps right into it. The opening scene, you've got Nick Fury and Hill kind of walking up, and then you've got, like, you see the first bad guy, and then you also see the Mysterio shows up, Jake Gyllenhaal. And it just, like, immediately, it's like, it just throws us right into it, where after Endgame was so exhausting emotionally. And then it just, like...
Oh, no, do you remember the beginning of the movie?
Oh yeah, because after that,
It
then
was
he goes.
the kids.
Which that was smart. It was
That was funny.
and I knew they were gonna do this. So many people after Infinity War were like, "What? All these people just show back up, and then and they go back to school?" And I was like, "Yeah." In a throwaway line, they were gonna figure it out. We've seen some great visuals. Like Doctor Strange is just watching some weird stuff happen, but it's a Doctor Strange movie. You'd expect it. But the way that they did it with Mysterio and Spider-Man, like him in that warehouse scene where he's just seeing a bunch of different stuff, and then Iron Man coming out of the grave, and that's the closest thing to
Yeah,
Marvel
it was
zombies that we're ever
creepy.
gonna get. It was just great. It was just weird, over the top, and you could believe that Mysterio would actually be a viable, good villain.
That would be
So well played.
so confusing
And
and disorienting.
then you had I didn't like that they're outing Spider-Man in the post-credit scene. It's like, like that's something that should happen when he's older. I just don't feel like we've seen enough. Like when Tom Holland says he wants to play this character till he dies, which I hope he does. He's just so good with this character. I don't think that you can jump to like that story already. Like, oh, he's a 16. I guess it's interesting because then he's a 16-year-old kid who's trying to. I don't know. I wasn't thrilled that they went in that direction yet, but I'm sure they can like fix it pretty easily. All they need is someone swinging around as Spider-Man while Peter Parker's not doing Spider-Man
Plus,
stuff.
why are you hating on something you haven't even seen yet? Relax,
No, it's
nerd
not that
boy.
it's not that I hate. I hate it. It's that I just think that there are other stories that they could have done before they got to that point.
Okay.
That's what I think. But that's what we think. Do you have any other thoughts about Spider-Man Far From Home? Or Spider-Man Homecoming 2 as I call it?
I thought Zendaya did a nice job of
She was
acting
great.
like an awkward teenager.
Yeah, we got to see more of her. She was like peppered throughout the last movie, Homecoming. So we get to see her as Mary Jane. So go her. She did a good job. And of course, she already knows that he's Spider-Man 2. They're really jumping to the end of some of these storylines.
I still like the cartoon one better, but
Spider-Verse.
how
and
can you be better than that?
Yeah, and I'm still a little bummed that we aren't getting a multiverse movie because that Nerdist trailer was great. Seeing like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland swinging around. That's the movie I want. Where's that one? Anyways.
Garfield.
Okay. But we're only getting a hint of kind of what's next. I don't think we know what the next scheduled Marvel movie is. So they set it up. Nick Fury's out in space working on a mission. We'll see what's next. We enjoyed the movie. It was a good second movie. I liked it as much as I liked the first Homecoming. Not better than Endgame. It just, you can't be Endgame, but still fun. And
Yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal was great.
Yes.
Any other things you loved about it before we end this podcast?
It's not a podcast.
We're using a podcast mic.
Nope.
So there you have it, folks. That's what we thought of the movie. Now we want to talk to you down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of the movie and all that fun jazz. And do you want to review more movies?
Nope.
Okay, that's it. Never again. Maybe with better audio eventually. Till the next time, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.